In an ancient time, when a terrible evil threatens the land, only one man can save the world.
Say what? Get out of here.
What? What's the meaning of this?
Oh, we'll just take off that broken record.
I say.
Here, hold my earrings while I take this monster down. I've got your back, darling. We just might burn down this town. Oh no, oh yeah. When you're up against a challenge and you need a helping hand, we've got an arsenal of fireballs, steel stilettos, and a cat. Oh yeah.
Hi, my name is Al, and I'm your DM for today, and welcome to Here Hold My Earrings. And today we have Henrietta, Yvonne, Laura, and Susan. Henrietta?
Hi, I'm Henrietta, and I play. Oh, I'm from Norway. I forgot about that. And I play a Kalashtar druid named Dalin.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, wait,
Yvonne?
where am I from again?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Started drinking a little early.
Yep.
Okay, I'm Yvonne from Canada, and I play Cracker, a half-orc barbarian.
Terrific. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm from Germany, and I'm playing Byleth, a Dragonborn wizard.
And Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan. I'm from America, and I play a half-elven bard named Moxie.
Wonderful. And I believe Yvonne has volunteered to give us the recap.
Alrighty, with flavor. Okay, we're on a dark lake. We've arrived at this island inhabited by gnolls and some Kotoa who slip out of the water and move up to us as we arrive. We're not too sure of their intentions, so I move right to the front, making sure that nobody runs in front of me. Susan. We attack the gnolls. Pearl the Quotoa gives... Yeah, right. I'm going to be dragging you around on my back. Okay. Pearl the Quotoa gives Byleth some eggs, and she chucks them around a bit. Pearl chase after them. Another of the Quotoa joins us and shoots at the gnolls, killing one. Meanwhile, Pearl is way up in front of all of these lovely gnolls that are completely armed. So I run up and I dish out some hurt to the leader. Dalin is slashing her way through the newly transformed gnoll pups towards Cud, who is lashed to an altar. Melbourne drops to his knees and says, "The rival of Lolth," which I didn't really end up finding out what he was talking about, but I guess I could probably ask Dalin because she was at the altar.
Oh, it was Laura.
Byleth.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
Byleth?
Byleth
Okay.
in the web.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Spiderweb.
yeah. Okay. We kill everyone except two who come. One comes ashore and surrenders and say they don't want to be violent. The Kotoa has them surrounded. Cud integrates his intestines, and the healing word Dalin and healing from Orleth end up sort of closing up his wounds. And then he tells us his little story about how he got here. Not really little, but, I don't mean to diminish it. Apparently, when he fell off that cliff, he landed on a large creature. It died, and he used its claws to paddle. He found some of his own people, and they're more violent, and he found he was less. And so he left. He found a large building with interesting people and some books and some non-people and wanted to find us, so he left it. And he found the stream, lake, tired of rowing, so he took a nap, had some lunch. He found something to make tea out of. And that one over there, the gnoll, was eating some of his black mold. And they grabbed him and tied him up, and we came along just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, Pearl's getting it on with the other two, and they make some new Quotoa. The gnoll says...
I love it!
The gnoll says, "Don't kill me." And strangely, because she ate some black mold, she is less violent now and isn't really into the whole violent gnoll thing. And the gnoll says her name is Cracker, Bone Cracker. And then I wrote Heckler down, but I don't know why. And then we decided to call her Bones, and she's not happy about it. The
Bones was
Quotoa
her
are
father.
chanting. Bones was her
Heckler was her
father's name.
sister.
Oh, Heckler was her sister. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
She didn't seem pleased that we're going to call her Bones. So
No.
I don't really
That's-
care. She can't be Cracker. The quote,
There can only be one.
there could only be one.
The
Yeah.
original.
The original Cracker. The Quotoa are chanting Delin, 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 Cracker, Cracker, Violet, Violet. The Northless name is gods as they're creating a new temple and making babies. And it says, looting will commence next week. The end.
That was awesome.
It's like a movie premiere right there.
That was genuinely amazing. You may have to do more of these.
I think so
Professional.
too. They're always great. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're so
like the-
detailed. I miss all these fine points.
But you make it so
You're so-
animated and fun.
Yeah. So
Like
entertaining.
I said, movie premiere.
Now playing at Theater 2.
Yes. So yes, Heckler is the sister of Bone Cracker, who was killed in combat. So this one is Cracker, or Bones, if you want to call her that. But of course, it's going to be a little bit difficult. That is Heckler, the sister, and she died. And yes, there are lots of little Quotoa tadpoles running around, as it were, and they're making more of them, and they're making little miniature icons of you four survivors, or at least three of you anyway, and they are creating them in your image because you are, in their minds, their new gods, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed.
I
Malibor,
don't
of
need
course,
to
is
be a god.
well, you'll get there.
We'll find you someone.
You've got your own personal masseuse at this stage, right? So it's like, I'm not
I
sure.
was going to say, apparently
It's like-
Maliborn sticks to me like glue now. So
He does. He absolutely does. Cud has rejoined the party. And of course, you are leaving Poops and Pool and Pearl behind. Does anybody want to go through the loot you found?
Yep, I have it in my notes. Remember to loot the knolls.
Exactly.
Big letters.
I think we all put that at the bottom. Don't
Yep.
forget to loot.
Looting will
Must
commence
get
now.
loot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, from the body of Heckler, which presumably, I mean, how are you guys handling that?
Let's tell
The
Cracker to
sister of
loot her.
Cracker?
Maybe she wants to take something special.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a good thought. Yeah.
She was my older sister, and she always beat me if I didn't listen. I'll take her staff, but truly, I don't really use it. I'll trade it to one of you for something useful.
I have a shovel.
She looks at Cracker, your Cracker.
Is it a weapon?
Yeah, it's good for undead.
Really?
I think you can roll deception with that one.
Well, I know it's good for undead. I really believe that, right?
He doesn't understand anything else. She knows it's good for undead somehow. Some
Yes,
way.
I don't know if deception's the greatest. Like for me, that would be like, I don't know. Hang on, let me look. It wouldn't even be persuasion because I really believe this.
Well, in that case, do you want to try intimidation?
Sure. Take the shovel. Okay, not very good.
You flex your muscles, and Cracker cowers in fear, remembering that in her society, females who are stronger usually are the alphas.
Oh, yes, I can see your point. Yes, of course. Here.
And she lowers her head and offers up the staff with both hands.
All right. I take it. And I give her the shovel. Just watch this. Just watch the handle. It's kind of falling off.
She takes the shovel reverently and gives it a few experimental swings left and right, wielding it like it's a two-handed maul.
Yeah, the balance could use some work. But, oh no, I wasn't criticizing. It's fine. Thank you.
And she kind of cowers away a little bit.
That's awesome.
Now you have a staff instead of a shovel.
Yeah.
I wonder
And
how you're
poke
going
things.
to dig things with a staff. That's going to take forever. All right.
Maybe.
Now, do you guys want to check out the altar?
Yes. Moxie does anyway.
He
You
said
already
leadingly.
said that there wouldn't be like too many expensive things there because I already
Well,
asked.
yes,
But maybe you
did.
changed your mind.
No, I didn't change my mind. At the time,
No, just
you
kidding.
saw. Yeah. You find 15,000 pearls. Um,
All for me.
all for you.
That's too funny.
You find there's a lot of viscera. There's not a whole lot on the altar, but the altar itself is constructed of what appears to be a very shiny and beautiful metal that almost glimmers in the faint bioluminescent light on the island. There's quite a lot to this altar. All of you can sense that this is not just your standard stone tablet that's laying there. And there is carved writing along the bottom of it. It's actually very poorly carved, as if somebody with very few metalworking or carving or engraving skills had done it. And you even see the occasional broken fang or claw where apparently somebody used a natural tool. And imagine how hard that would be. There are also 3 little knoll puppies chained to the bottom of it underneath. They're hiding sort of in a little crevice underneath the edge of it.
I was wondering if there are any puppies left.
There are,
Oh,
I mean, sorry, not gnolls, hyenas, I should say.
hyenas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mom, can I keep one?
Well, I mean, they are wild hyenas. You guys can
I know.
choose to do what you want.
But they're so cute.
They are cute. You notice that the fungi are especially large. You have seen large ones before, but these look very sturdy considering this is a rocky outcropping. And Sponge sends you a telepathic message.
These seem to be special fungi. I think if we have its permission, we can carve some off of the trumpet, and it will help restore you.
Ooh, healing mushrooms.
Cool.
And this one may make you fly. Or
What?
is that the one that makes you think you're flying? I always get confused.
There's a big
I
difference.
like my feet on the ground. Feet can stay on the ground.
Either way, it might be interesting for you to take some of that.
True.
Agreed. Who needs a healing pot when you've got a mushroom?
Exactly.
True.
Now, the leader has got quite a few interesting items. Most of the weapons on these gnolls, including the ones that were magically created by their transformation, which, was a good point. Most of these weapons are not in good condition. They seem to be mostly dilapidated weapons. They're rusted out. For the most part, I'd say they're probably about worth a third of what they might be worth if you were able to get them in a store or someplace. They're mundane weapons, it seems. If magic items by definition have to be in pretty good condition, for those of you who now have enough magic items to know the difference, you'd probably realize these aren't particularly special. There are a lot of your typical gnoll bits of jewelry and self-decoration. Necklaces with bones on them. They've got little, head gear that's got humanoid ears attached and sewn into them, including some ears that appear to be drow by the color of the ear and the shape of it, unless they're perhaps elven ears, just storms, surface elf ears that have been dyed or desiccated. You also have a couple of things that are included. The leader has, aside from a very nasty looking cleaver, a long cleaver that basically acts as a sword, he has a 3-headed flail. And when you look at the altar, you see an image of a large gnoll carved into it, standing over smaller gnolls. Presumably, these are normal sized gnolls. And that large gnoll carries a 3-headed flail. And this flail is pristine. It looks like it's in excellent condition. It even looks like it's been well oiled, which, judging by the rest of these gnolls and their equipment, they don't seem to do normally. There are little bits of food in their pouches, but from what you can tell, it doesn't look like food that you would be able to consume safely. Maybe somebody with high constitution could give it a go, but these look like spoiled bits of fish, spoiled bits of fish people, spoiled bits of maybe humanoids like dwarves or something else. There's the occasional femur.
So we're
It
not
all
making
smells.
fish stew.
Yeah, yeah, fish.
No fish stew for dinner. Got it.
Bouillabaisse. No bouillabaisse. And that's pretty much what you find, other than the occasional coins scattered about. It appears that these gnolls, whether or not they're from the surface or they've been magically created, they don't really need treasure, but they do have the remains of some dead bodies laying around the altar. And that includes one gray dwarf body. And that gray dwarf is wearing just working leathers. It doesn't seem to be a fighter or something. It just looks like it could be a tradesman or maybe a miner. And he's got your standard pick, shovel, a small shovel, not a big one like the one Cracker gave up, and a backpack. And the backpack has both, as well as a small pouch. And the pouch has 4 gems and 20 pieces of gold and 5 pieces of silver. And the backpack has, on top of what appear to be some iron rations, 4 sets of iron rations, there's also a small journal and a small map that is written on wax cloth and is tied in a bundle with a string. And the map seems to depict a pathway from the edge of the Dark Lake, an area you haven't been to, on the Dark Lake back to what appears to be a city called Gracklestug.
Grackle.
Yeah, I'll write it in the chat.
Thank you.
Grack. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, mosquito. It's right in my face.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
True.
Okay.
What type of gems are they?
One is a crystal barrel. One is green. I guess you wouldn't know, would you? So one is sort of purplish pink. One is green. One seems to be blue, and another one is clear looking. It could be a
Yay,
diamond.
shapes and colors.
Wait!
Just don't know anything. Looks pretty.
What's the journal written in? Like what language? I'm assuming Dwarven, but never assume.
Yes, it's written in Dwarvish. You guys can recognize, even without being able to read it, you know that that's probably Dwarvish because you've seen enough of it. I think actually, doesn't one of you read Dwarvish?
I do.
Yep.
Even without comprehend language.
There you go. Oh, so it's definitely Dwarvish. And the journal basically seems to be the miner's own personal journal combined with notes from work. It's not really written for third-party reading, so there's not a lot of detailed description of things that seem to be taken obviously in context. It's more like, well, today, we went here, yesterday we went there, that kind of thing. It talks about them being on a excavation expedition to try to find mithril. And the mithril veins that they seem to be following are being depleted. They're not entirely sure what's causing it. There's a mystery involved associated with both the depletion of the mithril and the way it's happening. They talk about the amount of mithril suddenly falling off, trying to find traces of the metal through the rock, working their way along the natural caverns that form, and also specifically looking for the source of the mithril, which is much farther away than they had originally thought. And there seems to be a major disruption in their trade. A lot of discussion of these creatures that are undescribed, or no survivors are left to describe them, but the bodies show horrendous wounds, decapitations, eviscerations, dismemberment. Some of them are completely drained of their fluids. Others of healthy young dwarven miners seeming to have been desiccated, their bodies shrunken in until they're just mummified, as if something had sucked everything out from inside. And it's happening all over the place. He said, one of the entries specifically states that this is the last potential expedition until they can find the source of all the problems or a new source of ore. And so they have to succeed. Otherwise, Gracklestug and its economy may suffer.
That's just creepy.
Yes, it is creepy. Cud is laying there in the boat, relaxing. He's glad to be back amongst the rest of you, sipping a cup of tea, pinky out.
Of course, must have the pinky out.
I'm so glad you found me. These gnolls, historically, the Minotaurs and the gnolls are blood enemies. Goes back to before recorded time when Baphomet, the god of the Minotaurs, and Yeenoghu, god of the gnolls and creator of them, fought endlessly across the abyss. But ever since I became a bit more enlightened, I haven't really felt the need for bloodshed. And at this point, Bone Cracker, her ears prick up a little, her little round ears, and she sort of stands a little straighter out of her permanent slouch. It's interesting. I feel the same. I'm not driven by bloodlust. Yeenoghu always wants us to sacrifice to him, and in order to become a true gnoll or even a higher gnoll, we have to kill the prey that we find wherever we find and consume them. This is how the first of the hyenas became gnolls to begin with. I wonder, perhaps there's a reason this has happened to both of us.
And Cud sits there, placid as usual, eyelids half drooping, his lower jaw working slowly on whatever it is he's chewing, presumably some cud. Sips his tea, nods, and says,
Maybe.
and he looks at this little tiny, delicate ceramic teacup that you don't know where he's been storing it.
I guess it could be the tea. What do you think, Dalin?
Well, I don't think it's the tea. I think it's the mold. We both ate it.
Oh, you mean my jam?
Yeah,
And he
it's not.
pulls out the little bottle.
That's not jam.
Oh.
And he unscrews the lid and he sticks his finger into the mold and he takes it out and he licks it.
Well, it is more savory than jam. But you're supposed to have tea and biscuits. What am I supposed to put on my biscuits if I don't have this?
Buy some jam.
Maybe turn the mushrooms into jam.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mushroom tea and
interesting.
jam.
Sounds like a song.
And he walks over to this mushroom here, the trumpet, and he just starts pummeling it. Boom, 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 until it becomes a bit mushy on one side. And he takes a biscuit out of a pocket from I don't know where. And he dips it into the mushroom and then dips that into his tea, his porcelain cup.
Yeah, it's not bad. You want to try some?
Do you
I'll pass, thank you.
see any effects on him after he ate it? Did he
He
start
doesn't
fly?
float away, does he? I was gonna say, does he float away?
God,
Honestly,
think
I
fly.
think it looks really delicious.
Think happy thoughts.
He closes his eyes. He sets down the porcelain cup. He puts his middle finger together with his thumb on each hand. And he starts saying, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." And you watch as his shoulders and his head start to rise slowly and then stop. And you realize he's standing on his toes.
So
I
he
don't think
thinks
it's
he's
working.
Wait,
I mean,
isn't this the trumpet mushroom though?
Yes, it is.
Should it be the healing one? Yeah.
No, he said it. There were some that did both, I think.
Oh, right.
We just didn't ask Sponge to clarify.
Sponge referred to the purple one as possibly being the flying one. A trumpet one he thought might be something that would restore you.
Oh, okay. Do you feel any better?
Maybe he got them backwards.
Yes.
Somebody's high on shroomage.
I,
So does it,
I
Does-
don't know.
is it reversing the black mold? I'm gonna back up a little.
Oh,
We all die. End of campaign.
The shrooms, Maliborn, and I are just going to slowly back away with the boat.
Rowing away. You do see that the little scrapes, the remaining injuries that Cud has suffered, do seem to be getting a little bit better looking, as if he's gone through a little bit of rest and recovery. The immediate damage, wounds are closing a little bit. Things are getting a bit tighter. It all looks like it works to heal you. Cud's behavior doesn't seem to change. His intelligence certainly doesn't drop noticeably, and he doesn't seem to become more violent.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Now, Sponge did say we should probably ask the mushrooms. So that's probably why he had some weird effects or didn't heal completely.
Sponge, can you ask this mushroom if we can take a little bit of it?
Okay. And Sponge walks over, places a hand on the trunk of the large trumpet, and closes his eyes, and you sense that he's communing. And just as he's about to open his eyes, there's like a puff of spores that surrounds everybody. You all get dusted.
Ooh.
Sponge looks at you and says, "Oh, sorry. That was a bit too much chili."
Okay.
The trumpet mushroom surprisingly actually turns 90 degrees to face you, and suddenly goes, "Bah!" Sponge looks at you and says, "He said it's a bit late to ask." And
Well-
he points to the damaged portion that Cud had pummeled.
Well, that wasn't us. We are polite and ask.
Sponge closes his eyes, puts his fingers to his temples again, opens them, and says, "Well, he figures since you've already damaged that section, you might as well take the rest of it."
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Should we carve
you.
or should we? How should we do it to make it less painful? Can you feel it? If it does.
He says he feels it, but he would like for you to gently massage the rest of the trumpety area,
Maliborn,
and then you can peel that section.
Maliborn's
you're
got
good
good
at
hands.
massages. Massage the mushroom.
Or Maliborn.
Masseuse, Maliborn the masseuse,
Mhm.
walks over gingerly and says, "Yes, madam." And he starts slowly massaging the trunk and the upper section. And you see this fungus start to convulse a little bit. And poof, a massive explosion of powder and spores comes out, covering a third of this small island you're on. It glitters. It makes you cough and sneeze. You're all covered in sort of green and yellow powder.
Nice.
Sponge looks at all of you and says, "He seems pretty happy now."
Nice. I start to carve off some of the leftovers.
Yep. He said he's going to take a nap now.
How much do I get?
He won't. How much do you want?
As much as possible.
Section Okay. The section that Cud has pummeled is about the size of a small shield, so that much surface area, and you could easily take, you know, it's about 40 centimeters thick,
Okay.
so
Do we
you can
have
carve
something?
out a large chunk of that if you want.
Do we have something to put it in?
Eh, we'll find something.
Unless Byleth wants to give up her caviar.
Never. Could I put some in like parchment paper? You know, just like a present, you know? I don't know.
Sure.
Kind of like a
That's
slab
great.
of meat at the butcher's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like
so
that.
Byleth takes the healing mushroom. Put it
Okay.
in your inventory.
How much would that be? A lot.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty thick. So I'd say it's probably like 20 pounds.
Ooh.
All right.
It's
Yes.
like it's like a
That's a lot.
shield size. It's a shield sized piece of really thick fungus, right? And it's, what did I say it was like 40? Did I say 10, 40 centimeters thick?
40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 centimeters.
Yeah. So that's pretty thick, pretty heavy.
Maybe put it in the bag of holding then.
Sounds good. I will do that.
You'll do it? Okay. And Sponge, could you talk to the flying mushroom thingy too?
Oh, sure. And he walks on over. It seems like this one doesn't know for sure what effect it'll have on you, but he points to a number of insects that are crawling around the base of it. And unlike the insects you find on some of the other bits of the island, like the ants that seem to walk in a pretty straight and orderly line, this one is surrounded by insects that are just kind of running around in circles, laying there. Some of them seem to be huddled together in little masses.
Mm. So
I
it's
think we'll
not a.
skip that one.
Well, we can take some. Might be nice to have to give to someone else.
No, this is true. Very true.
Can you ask him, Sponge, just if you can take a little bit?
This one doesn't seem to mind.
Okay.
I mean, he's been nibbled on by bugs all day.
Yes, exactly. Maybe that's how they pass themselves along.
I'm gonna take a good chunk and put it in the bag of holding.
How are you taking it?
I'm gonna cut it off.
Okay, roll a Constitution save.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm good at that. No, I'm not.
The Lynn falls over and starts, ooh, look, shinies.
Shinies. 11.
Yeah, you feel really good. You feel like you can fly. You feel like there's nothing you can't do.
Oh dear.
I can fly, I can fly, I can fly.
I'm just gonna go over to Poops and Pool and the Kuyatoa and just, I am your god. And I'm just gonna sit down and sway on the spot. I am your god.
Oh my,
I'm gonna sit next to her and do the same, but
Worship
completely
me.
sober. I just think it's very cool that she does this.
They're very impressed, and they keep chanting your names over and over, louder and louder. Pearl specifically sits down next to Byleth and shows the little image of Byleth that she's created. It's a bit smaller than the rest of the images because Cracker and Delin seem to have gotten more attention from the rest of them, but
That's alright.
they're still sitting there all together, and you can see these images slightly forming in front of the circle, and they almost seem to be dancing with each other, kind of moving around. They're not dancing in sort of a organized way, but they seem to be doing things like some of them are stretching, Cracker is swinging what appears to be a little miniature axe. It's only like a foot tall, right? Delin's shape is changing into that of a cat and then something else. And Violet seems to be blasting things from her mouth, this black stream.
So cool.
I am going to also produce flame in my hand. And well, in the movies, I haven't seen a really high person, but in the movies, they kind of just stare into the fire with open mouth. I'm going to do that with the flame in my hand. Just be amazed.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of them kind of just follow you, and the little Delin sits down and starts staring just ahead and just kind of starts drooling. And then two of the Quotoa look at it and they kind of go, Violet, Violet, Violet. And the little Delin seems to shrink a little bit in size, and Violet
Aw.
seems to get a little bit bigger.
I'll
Aw.
show them. What can I do?
Tidal wave.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it.
Oh man.
I'm gonna take the pups and go hide so we don't get washed away.
Yeah, so is Moxie going to try to take the pups?
Yes.
Now, when you do that, Cracker comes over. The bone cracker.
Yeah, I know.
Are you planning on eating them?
No.
Oh. Then what were you planning on doing to them?
Letting them live and be safe instead of sacrifices. They're young.
Oh.
I don't
Well,
sacrifice babies.
but they're very dangerous. If they grow along their natural progression, these are not your normal animals. These are Yinugu's chosen. Their only mission is to become like me, except more like the old me. I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay. So if you're no longer like the old you, can they not be not like their old selves?
Well, I hadn't considered that. You have to understand, I really was kind of a bit more in my old self just until recent. This is a new transformation. The makeover is still settling in.
And they're nowhere near as old as you are. So, therefore,
And she
maybe they won't pick up
seems
your bad habits.
a bit defeated.
Oh, fine.
And she slumps away.
You're feeding them, walking them. I'm not going to pick up after them.
Yes, Mommy.
Your responsibility.
3 hyena pups. Oh, mine! No eating the cow.
When you reach out to them, they each try to bite you very aggressively. I think we can have 3 of you roll attack rolls.
Oh.
Let's see how many fingers I lose.
Yeah.
Or
Moxie,
arms.
uh-oh.
12.
What's your armor class again?
13.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like all 3 will hit. And you take 1 point of damage from each bite. They're pretty vicious for little ones.
They're pups.
Okay.
Besides, I can't feel my right hand anyway, so, I mean.
Right. Yeah. Moxie's had a lot of sort of permanent injuries already.
Yep.
Missing a
I-
shadow.
Have a blackened, frostbitten looking right hand. I mean,
Exactly.
That's what I get for being
Whatever.
curious. That's what I get for being too curious.
Yep. Okay, so you have these three. They were connected to the altar by these thin metal chains and metal collars. They're not super heavy, but it's a bit cumbersome. Plus, of course, these are three wild animals, plus a bit of extra chaos thrown in. If you're going to carry them with you, or especially if you're holding on to them, they're going to cause you to have disadvantage in combat. Anything you're doing that requires a roll will have disadvantage, whether it's a saving throw or casting a spell to attack somebody. If it's a saving throw spell, you will have to roll a concentration check first to complete it. And if you're attacking with a weapon or it's a spell that has an attack roll, you'll have disadvantage itself. If you can find a way to bring them with you without having to hold on to them yourself, then of course you can potentially alleviate some of these negative effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, jack of all
Okay.
trades comes in handy.
I can see her, right? I can see where she is.
Yeah, you guys can see everything on the island.
And we've got lots of time. So I'm gonna do my beast sense ritual of speaking with animals and see if I
Ooh.
can't convince them to simmer down hot coffee, you know?
Simmered
I
down hot
like
coffee.
it. Simmer down hot coffee. I
I've
like
never
it.
heard that before. That's great.
Oh, my 3-year-old said that to me. I want to make a t-shirt of it. I haven't got there yet, but you know.
That is awesome. Where did your 3-year-old get it? Did he make it
I don't
up?
know. Yeah, he made it up. He's hilarious.
That's awesome. Oh, you've definitely got to foster that. He's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
major creative force.
Yeah. Need to
Okay.
put it on a coffee mug.
I mean, he's 13 now, but he was 3 when he said that. He said
Oh, I
lots
see,
of
right.
crazy stuff. Yeah, he still
Okay.
does, but you know, different now that he's
But that's
older.
okay. Simmer down hot coffee. I like it.
Yeah,
I needed
it's
to
the
go with
best.
my coffee spelled backwards as a fuck.
Oh, I like that.
And just know that I don't give a fuck until I've had my coffee.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have
Okay.
that mug.
Okay, so you cast the beast sense and speak with animals spells, but only as rituals, 10-minute cast. Okay, so yeah, you
Should
can
link
talk
that
to
too,
them,
there.
but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you can get them to do anything. What are you trying? You're trying to get them to. Oh, sorry. You can see through beast sense. Yeah, but that's a little different, right? That's sort of beast sense is sort of viewing things, right?
Oh yeah, that's more like I can see through their eyes.
Yeah.
But I can't really control what they're doing. So
Not yet. No.
okay, so speak with animals is what I'm gonna do then. And
Okay.
I'm gonna try to convince them that Moxie is their new mom.
Ooh. Okay. And when you're speaking with these hyena pups,
Here we
or
go.
kits, how does it sound to the rest of the people who don't speak hyena?
Actually, I have a hilarious dog, and she's part Basenji, and she sings all the time. Right? So it sounds like that. In fact, she's barking now.
Okay. All right.
I'm like clapping at Cracker. Great performance! Yeah.
And then I tell Moxie she better start howling because they need to howl sing with her.
Okay.
Ooh.
And does Moxie howl?
Oh yes, Moxie howls. In a high pitched whine.
How does Moxie sound when she's howling?
Let's see. Can we not sound like a dog? Arr!
Is Moxie a performer? I forgot.
I don't think no, her background's not performance. Performer.
Why don't Cracker and Moxie both roll? You guys can roll whatever skills you think make sense.
All right.
I'm thinking intimidation because I am kind of like, hey, you.
Yeah, sure.
right.
And that works. That's kind of how they work, right? Societally.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
20.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Well, they're
am.
definitely cowering from Cracker.
Yep. Well, we're gonna jack of all trades
Uh-huh.
and add 1 to. Let's see here.
Oh, there's a character. There's a on the Roll20 character sheet. There's actually something you can do. I'll do it for you.
Did I miss it?
Have you done it already?
No. I
Oh,
must have
okay.
missed it.
If you don't know how to do it, it's actually in the it's in the gear page, which I'm gonna do for you.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw that at one point.
Okay. Yeah, it's already activated. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then. All
Okay.
right. Let's see here.
And what skill is it going to be?
I guess we're gonna go animal handling.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Wow.
Ooh,
I'll take
Nice.
it.
that's great.
So
I am not proficient, so now we shall be.
So, as with all of these things, and I think I may have explained this before, just because you had a good skill roll doesn't automatically
I know.
guarantee the success you want. These are wild animals. Plus, on top of that, they're a little bit wilder than usual because they're Unigoose,
Puppies.
future disciples. Exactly, they're kind of half demon spawn. But as far as gaining some control, they're certainly cowed. And they seem able to respond at least to the threatening commands in Hyena delivered by Cracker. They also recognize the authority of Moxie. They may not necessarily do everything you want. I'm sure we all have pets, and we all know that even domesticated pets don't do that.
Yes.
So imagine how easy or hard it would be to get these little guys to listen to you. But at a minimum, they're not trying to attack you all the time.
Oh yes, I get to keep my fingers for now.
Can I ask Dylan a question?
Sure.
Hey, Dylan, you see these puppies here? Do you think they should eat some of that black mold? What do you think would happen? Oh wait, you're all high.
What? She's
gonna
high? I didn't even
ask her
know.
while she's high. That'd be funny.
I'm just gonna say, let them all eat. Let them eat.
Well, I'm always listening to Dylan anyway, so I'm gonna ask Cud for a little bit of that black mold. Curious.
And we're gonna feed my pups some mold.
Just
I think it's a good
you know,
idea.
Lick it
Have
off
them
your
simmer
hand.
down.
Oh
So
yeah,
just
maybe we shouldn't touch it.
Well, you can pour it out. You don't have to touch the actual mold.
Had to put it on a cracker.
Not you or the other one, though.
the bone cracker hears this and starts shying away again.
I
We'll
think I've
pour it on
had
a
enough.
biscuit.
Biscuit.
We'll put it on a biscuit.
That's my other sister.
A cookie, then. We're gonna call them cookies. Don't tell me you have a sister named Cookie, because then we're done.
No, my aunt is named Cookie.
Well, none of them are here, so there's no issue.
As you say, not trying to start a fight. Does anybody have any books to read? I really feel like I want to curl up with a good book.
I don't
No.
care books. So are we gonna feed the pups the mold or no?
Yeah, I mean, is that what you guys were doing? I wasn't sure if you definitely.
Go ahead.
I'm game. How about you, Moxie?
Well, if it keeps my fingers, we're okay with that. So might as
Okay.
well.
All right. So you grab some of the mold from Cud, who gives it up somewhat reluctantly, and you dollop out little bits. And the hyenas are not that interested in it.
Oh, they will be.
I'm gonna put it on something like put little pieces of viscera in front of them that are around the altar and just kind of pour the mold on top of it.
Oh, hang on.
Look, lunch.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Drawn by the smell of the viscera and the blood that Cud had bled out onto the altar, they lap away a little bit at it tentatively. And as they do so, you see the hackles on their back of their necks start to lay down a bit. They whimper a little, and they seem to sort of settle down. And one of them even rolls onto its back.
I'll give it some tummy rubs.
Aw.
Gotta rub
It
the
kind of
pups.
tries. It kind of tries to bite your hand, but not like in an aggressive way.
Like gnaw with little puppy teeth. Arr, arr, arr.
Mhm. Absolutely. All right. Do you guys want to think about what you want to do next, and we can take a little break?
Sure.
All righty. Okay. Cool. Let's say 7 minutes, maybe.
Sure.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hi. We hope you're enjoying this episode, and if so, please like and subscribe. And remember, the next time your DM says "roll initiative," yell back.
Here.
Here, hold my earrings. Here, hold my earrings.
This is good. I think we only need this take.
Okay. I think we're all back, right?
Looks like it.
All righty. Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, we never did look at that other map.
True.
So I'll sit here with my pups and inspect the map.
Just make sure they don't eat it.
Sorry. Yeah.
They
exactly.
won't eat it. They won't
Which
eat
other
it.
which other map are you referring to? Sorry.
The one that the dwarf had.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, that one seems to lead from the Dark Lake to Gracklestug.
But there's nothing of importance in between.
There are some highlighted risks. It talks about a drow outpost on the way. It also discusses purple worms as an ongoing risk. There's something else that talks about a trading post, and you think this may be referring to the location that some of you have encountered already earlier that had a lot of Diergar there.
Oh.
And there's a dotted line that goes off the edge of it, and it points to a location on the surface to King Brunor and Mithril Hall, which actually I think Delin would know about it. Mithril Hall is a famous surface dwarven settlement that is an ally of the elves in times of war.
Okay.
So, do you mean it points to a way out to the surface?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, it seems to go off the map, but it says to Mithril Hall. But it goes close to Gracklestug. So presumably the map is supposed to get you to Gracklestug, but also show you how Gracklestug is a bit of a trading hub to some other locations. It's not Gracklestug centric, but it's close.
Gotcha.
Okay. We are still going to Graven Hollow, right?
Yes.
So did we agreed on the Mushroom City first? What did we say on the map? That was not the map. Yeah, Mushy People place. We're going there first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we are at the crumble from the dragon now. So
Yeah.
Yep.
just go, or should we rest first?
I vote rest, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But we already had a long rest though before, right?
Did we? Oh, where are we
I
going
thought we
to
did.
that one?
I think so.
Well, no, Yoni wanted to take off, and then we decided no, that's just what she wanted to do, and we all just sort
Yeah.
of stayed on the shore.
Okay, so we did
Mhm.
have a long rest.
Yes, you
Okay,
guys have had
good.
a long rest.
Okay.
Then we can just go to the mushy people.
Yeah.
Much
At which
people, here
point,
we come.
Sponge gets very excited.
Try and avoid the danger island.
Yes.
Not going there.
Yeah.
Between slink between danger and
Mm.
go back.
Yeah.
Okay, so Poops in Pool, looking a bit exhausted after his finally getting a bit of release, staggers over and says that he will happily guide you through the water until you get to shore on the other side of the dark lake. He figures that although it's dangerous, since he's pretty much guaranteed to pass along his genes, he's less worried about it now. And he even
Gotcha.
ties a bandana around his head and says, "I'm ready to rock."
Very cool.
Then
So,
show the way.
sorry. Okay. So you guys start making your way. Poops basically swims out in front of you, sort of a good 30 feet or so. And occasionally he looks back over his non-existent shoulder, if he had a shoulder. And he kind of just quietly waves to you. Those of you with dark vision can see him, which I believe is 2 of you, excluding Maliborn and Cud. It's a challenge keeping the baby hyenas quiet.
Mhm.
They're a little bit nervous about being on a boat that seems to rock occasionally. They're not used to being in close proximity with so many other creatures that aren't hyenas or gnolls.
Mhm.
I don't know, Susan. I feel like you'd have to try very hard to keep them in line, or anybody else.
I would
Anybody got some
probably
spare leather?
um
Turn them
I would
into cheap
probably
toys.
cast Mage Hand to support Moxie a bit, and to try to get them, to pet them a bit, and also that they don't fall off the boat or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Wouldn't think of
Excellent.
that.
That's a great
'Cause
idea.
that is.
Okay. So, Moxie, what is it you'd like to do?
I was just gonna make some chew toys out of spare leather.
Oh, right. That's a good idea. I didn't hear that. That's a great idea. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like that's animal handling with advantage, basically.
Okay, so advantage. Animal handling.
Yeah. Wow.
Nice.
I mean, for wild animals that have just recently been released from captivity, plus also possibly having lost their parents, maybe, or their elders, they definitely settle down a bit. And secretly, Cracker kind of gives them a little bit of desiccated corpse when you're not looking, and they seem to be gnawing on that like jerky. You manage to get your way around the Dark Lake. It takes a couple of days to get through it. There are definitely some hazards, but you avoid most of them very easily. Occasionally, you find your way in the midst of something that looks like a very large creature eating a slightly less large creature. But with Poops as your pilot, it's fairly straightforward. And you eventually arrive on the opposite shore of the Dark Lake. At this point, Poops kind of points in the general direction down the river, and he says, "I think there's probably a few caves or tunnels you can follow." Um, he sniffs the map that you have,
Yes. It looks like somebody indicated that you're supposed to take this tunnel and follow it into the mushy peak.
Of course, the rest of you don't have his sense of smell, so you don't really know what he's sniffing. Even the gnolls don't really know what he's looking for. But Poops is 100% confident, and he waves and dives back into the water, pops his head back up, and says, "Is there anything else?"
I don't think so. Good luck being a daddy.
And he just sighs. I'm exhausted already.
That was the fun part. You just wait.
Oh. And he looks completely dejected, and he just floats backward on his back into the water and slowly disappears, almost like he doesn't care if he gets eaten.
He had his fun. He's done.
Yeah.
All right.
So just go through
As
the
you,
tunnel, he said. I
yep,
guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Pud says,
Think I sense we're close to the path to that library. But yeah, let's go where you want. Do you think they'll have more of the jam?
Maybe. Portobello told us that they had the same problem as the surface with the mold, so there might be some there. And the other jam mushroom from the mushroom, I guess they have a lot of. It's a mushroom city.
Hmm.
Just
Well, you haven't steered me wrong yet, so I'll follow you anywhere. Plus, I probably wouldn't have survived that, whatever that party was they were having there when you found me.
haven't steered you wrong yet. Just almost killed you twice.
Oh, what's a little near death between friends?
True.
I can't believe I just said that.
Just shows how much you've grown.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
and he flexes his biceps.
I have been working out a bit. Does it show?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cracker, could you flex too so I can compare? Or
Oh, I'm always up for that.
Nope.
The two of you then take another 10 minutes to comparatively flex, doing the various poses. The
feel like-
crab, the two arms up, right? The one arm up, one arm down, the ab flex.
The Inhuman
Uh,
Universe contest.
Yes. It's the Mr. Miss Underdark contest.
There we go.
I'm clapping enthusiastically.
That's awesome. You are in a tunnel. Can you see the tunnel?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. It is covered in what appear to be inert mushrooms. So probably you feel like you are on the right path. But there seem to be more than one tunnel in the right direction. And this is a bit of a ravine.
How deep is it?
How deep do you want it to be? No, it's about exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Ah.
It's about 30 feet down to the bottom of the ravine. And it's, as you can measure it out, it's about 30 to 40 feet, depending, or even 50 from the edge of where you are to the other side. No, it looks like Cracker's actually in the ravine. She's done.
A sponge. Do you know where to go next? Are we going straight ahead or
Left, right, up, down.
up, down, left, right?
Sponge
Maybe.
looks up at the cavern ceiling and back at you and says, I don't think it's up.
Okay. Good to know.
I agree.
I think it might be in this direction. And he points a long, spindly, mushroomy finger.
Okay.
I think we have to go this way and then go back up around. We could try following this ravine, but, well, and he indicates some markings. It looks like it's very well traveled.
By what?
I don't know. I'm not a
But
tracker, but it has
no,
a lot of footprints and other things there.
mushroom people footprints?
No, we don't really leave footprints like that. And he stands up and lifts one of his so-called feet, and you see it's just a big splotch on the ground. It doesn't look like a really obvious footprint. You'd have to know that he made it to know that it was a footprint.
Can I have a look at the footprints? Can I see them from where I am and sort of I try to identify with survival?
Sure. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Give it a try. It's very far away, but there's a lot of indicators that there's something down there.
I'm gonna just see if oh look, I've never seen anything like this before.
Footprints? What footprints?
I don't know what he's talking about.
It looks like somebody just dropped rocks at equidistance along the ravine
Yeah.
and then picked them
Nothing
up
down
again.
there. There's nothing down there. I don't know what he's talking about. Don't worry about it.
Do they all look like they're
Sponge.
going in the same direction, different directions?
So the way it looks from up here, if you can imagine it, is whereas on the edges, right, where there's lots of these big fungi and occasional boulders, it looks very wild. There's lots of debris and things. What you can clearly see is that the central corridor doesn't have any debris.
Okay.
It's almost as if somebody had cleared it out or it's been cleared out through time. I mean, there's from 30 feet you can't see a whole lot of detail, but you don't see big boulders blocking the way. Those are all off to the side. You don't see anything that looks like it would impede the passage of anything, whether it was people walking on foot or maybe wagons or something, or even animals. So to the extent that all of you have at least some basic survival skills now, having been traveling around in the Underdark, it doesn't look like any of the other tunnels you've been in that were just natural occurring fissures and jagged formations, or even, for example, the purple worm tunnels that, although they're smooth in a rounded kind of a way. This almost looks like it's the Underdark equivalent of a highway.
So should we just climb down and go up on the other side?
I was thinking the same thing because sometimes the most obvious route is not always the best.
Uh-huh.
that's my-
Maliborn looks at you and says, I don't know this particular space, but large caravans and also hunting parties and slavers will often take roads like this. It's very easy for them to move and find other prey. If we encounter someone, we might get lucky. But if we're unlucky, it would be a group that wanted to capture us or kill us.
So take the obvious route, die
You
or
go
not.
over?
Let's just.
Well-
I think. Does it look like we can climb up on the other side? Are there anything to grab on?
It's very rough. It's rough. It looks like some of you at least could potentially climb it. Of course, a couple of you may be very good at climbing. Cud, as you recall, is extremely strong.
Yeah. I have
And
crampons.
and you all have tampons,
Yeah.
crampons.
And I have a grappling hook.
Oh,
So
You got lots of rope.
yeah.
yeah.
Lots of rope. And you even have one party member who has a little friend who can actually fly if the conditions are right.
Yeah. Can the octopus go up with his suckers up the wall?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if it can breathe outside of its pot.
yeah, for 30 minutes, but I think it would be smarter to transform it into, I don't know, a hawk or something.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
you do that,
Now, it
and
would-
we can stand on the edge and kind of have a look out and see if anyone comes. It takes an hour, doesn't it, to change form?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So you guys are doing your Byleth is casting Find Familiar Ritually. Presumably that's what you're referring to.
Yep.
And at the same time, you guys are keeping an eye out. Yeah, let's have everybody roll perception.
Will do, if I can find it.
Oops.
Oh my god,
Wait.
I have +7. I
What'd you
got
get?
a 10.
10.
Oh, ooh.
Me too.
Oh,
Moxie's more alert.
Wait.
Oh.
I got to pay attention to my pups, so I got to pay attention
Ugh.
to everything else too.
right. You're
9.
distracted. Wow, you guys are all distracted. Okay.
I think that I actually, while we are waiting, I am going to take up the chest that I found in with the were rats, because I forgot to look in it, and I
Right.
just remembered.
More
True.
That's
more
why.
magic items.
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking too much out for things. I'm too busy with checking the chest.
Right.
We're all distracted. Got it.
I would love to have an owl, if that's okay, instead of hawk.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Let me
Great.
just get you an owl. Where's that owl that you had before?
It flew the
Oh, the
coop.
glasses.
Mm-hmm. Let me find it for you.
Smart.
Here we go. Or at least just looks smart.
Take its glasses off and it flies smack into a wall.
Oh no.
Oh wait, that's me. Never mind.
Okay. Now you guys rolled a little bit low, but you do have passive perception, so you're going to be able to get the benefit of that at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Moxie did roll
which-
well, 18.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So Moxie, before everybody else, is going to hear something off in the distance, and she's going to hear what seems to be the sounds of maybe something grinding along the ground, and maybe even what sounds like the animals that you guys have encountered before, the herd animals that you've encountered before.
Rosa?
Mhm.
So it sounds like there's something coming this way.
Yeah,
Yep.
everybody back from the edge.
And you see a little cart being pulled, and it just sort of makes its way along the pathway. And as you watch it pass, those of you with a passive perception above 15 hear something, but you don't see anything. It sounds like whispers in Elvish. And you finally catch a glimpse just as they get right below you. And it seems to be a skulking party of drow. Do you guys want to do anything? They don't appear to have spotted you yet.
I'm just gonna look at Maliborn. Give him a warning eye.
Don't even.
Maliborn he's very tense. He looks really stiff, like he doesn't want to, he doesn't know what to do. I think you can roll intimidation or something else if you'd like.
Assist.
How does Cracker assist? What does Cracker
Like-
actually do?
I catch the glance and I'm pretty close to Maliborn, so I get just a little closer and a little
Mm.
taller.
No
All right.
more needed.
Yeah, sounds good.
So advantage
Sure.
14.
Okay. Maliborn kind of he wriggles a little bit. You sense that he's got some sort of an internal struggle going on. There's a little bit of sweat beading on his forehead and his androgynous pectoral muscles. Does Moxie notice the glistening on his skin?
Well, she does notice he's sweaty and kind of nervous, not quite sure what he's going to do in this situation, but she kind of looks at him, places a hand on his chest, and just kind of tells him to just calm down. It's okay, because she doesn't understand.
Right. And Maliborn, in combination with the successful intimidation, kind of settles down. He closes his eyes, sighs, and just says in Elvish, "Find a happy place, find a happy place, find a happy place."
Huh.
The drow party, including the little cart drawn by the Rotha, make their way past and disappear. By this time, Ivy has reappeared as an owl.
Nice. Smart one.
So how are you guys going to get down? You do
Climb.
have some crampons. You
Yeah.
do have rope. You also have a guy who's strong enough to throw some of you potentially.
Throw us down or over.
Well, I suppose it'll be one first and then the other.
Down or over.
Throw us that far?
I can try to throw you over first. Eventually, you'll go down somewhere.
True.
Trebuchet in that pocket of yours?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking less trebuchet and more log toss. But yeah, similar mechanics, I suppose. Let me just draw this out.
Pulls out a chalk from I don't know where and starts drawing this complicated engineering diagram on the side of the walls there in the cavern. It's got angles, it's got dotted lines with little arrows on them, numbers written out, some formula using algebra.
Okay. Could you just lower us down in a rope? And you are strong. You can climb down afterward, can't you?
He looks at the diagram that he just laid out. He looks at Delin. He takes the chalk, looks at that, sighs.
Oh, I suppose.
And he pockets the chalk. He pulls out his little china cup, has a sip of tea, puts it back in his pocket without managing to spill any of it somehow, and says,
All right, follow me.
and he starts to make his way down. He falls the last 10 feet, lands on his bottom, dusts himself off.
Kind of hurt, but I'll be all right. No need for any of you to help.
Well, I was thinking that you should lower us down with a rope first before you went down. But
And
fine.
he climbs up the other side,
And he goes, There, satisfied?
and
Yeah.
he pulls out his little porcelain cup again and then starts drinking tea.
I am going to. How much can Ivy lift while flying?
Practically nothing, right?
Her strength is 3.
Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
It doesn't
And her
really
size-
say other
And
than
her
that.
size is tiny, so it's
Mm.
carrying capacity is 15 times your strength. So that'd be 45 pounds, but then you have it every size category from medium. So medium to small would be 22. I think it's like 5 pounds is where I'm coming out
Creaker.
at most.
How much does the
Yeah.
grappling hook weigh?
It should actually say on the inventory. I think there's actually a weight.
Didn't drag it,
Oh,
but I
Yeah.
can check. Grappling hook. Let's see.
4.
Yeah.
That worked out.
It did, but we
It's-
are also need to tie the rope to it.
Cud shouts across the chasm. Do you need me to come back and get it?
No. She's
And
summoned
it's just
Ivy. She
booming.
have to try. She can take 2 trips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fly
2.
over my grappling hook to Cud first and come back and get the rope.
Ivy can do this. She's a strong owl.
I'm gonna give her guidance on the way.
Just make sure you hold on to one end of the rope
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it doesn't all go across.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheer at her. I'm very, she my baby.
Okay. Yeah, Ivy, super confident that she can do it because, she's got guidance and all this love and support from the rest of the party. Picks up this super heavy metal grappling hook and starts flapping and flapping and flapping. She says telepathically to Byleth, this would be a lot easier if I were an African swallow.
Yeah, but you're doing just fine. I'm proud of you.
As she's flapping, she turns her head 180 degrees to look back over her shoulder while flying in the wrong direction, and then sticks out one wing with a pin feather sticking out like a thumb.
Oh, I thought it was the other finger.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Not the middle feather. Not the middle feather.
We actually have a healthy relationship other than Satina and her
Salazar?
familiar, but yeah. Yeah.
She gets over to Cud and lands on his massive shoulder. Cud gently takes the grappling hook and shouts out, "Do you want me to throw this back to you?"
Oh, no.
No.
Some rope will be coming. And please don't shout so loud, because we are not alone down here.
What? I can't hear you.
Wait. Let's see how far it is.
Okay.
I form a mind link and tell him to be
Thank
quiet.
goodness.
Shush, you silly cow! Stop yelling!
We're sending some rope
You're
with
upsetting the
Ivy.
babies.
Yeah. Oh, how
He
we...
seems
Ivy's coming back.
He seems a little embarrassed. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
So the rope is going to be too heavy I feel like the rope is too heavy for Ivy. I think his rope is 10 pounds or something.
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
she's not bringing all of it. She's just
All
bringing
right, all
one
right.
end and flying over.
Okay.
And it is
all
silk
right.
rope
Mhm.
too.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
yeah, if it's a silk rope, then it is lighter. That's true. Okay. So Ivy can bring over the silk rope end to Cud. Cud will then take it and says, "Well, what do you want me to do with this now?"
Tie it somewhere and hold on to it. Use the grappling hook to either make it go into the rock or find something to tie it around, maybe here or something.
Okay. And he walks over. He takes the rope and he ties it to his foot.
Oh, man.
And then he takes the grappling hook and slams it into the rock without attaching it to the rope. There. Happy?
I thought you were smarter now. You tie the rope to the grappling hook and then tie it around the stone.
You told me not to eat the jam anymore, and well, it's probably been a few days.
Okay, take a sip of the mold then.
No, Jesus, why didn't you say so?
Okay, we need to keep
Before you know
feeding
it,
both him and the other knoll and the puppy's mold.
Well, once he's
So pretty
completed
much.
his recharge, as it were, he manages to take the grappling hook and the rope and even asks you to send some more rope tied to the lighter silken rope. He then throws it back after weaving a complex knot. And before you know it, he's actually woven out a very delicate rope bridge for you.
Ooh.
See, that wasn't hard.
Just keep eating the mold, please. That was great.
What do we do when he runs out?
Find some more. There's a lot to take. That took
Take
all
cover.
room. Yeah.
Oh, I'll just sit here and have a break. I'm tired. Sits down, has some tea and a biscuit.
Ivy's also having some tea. Stealing some
He-
from Cud.
Cud happily shares his tea with Ivy.
Aw. That's so
Hope
cute.
it's not too hot for you. And he blows on the tea a little bit just to make sure Ivy doesn't burn her beak.
Aw. Ivy's very happy.
All right. You guys managed to slowly make your way across this bridge. Are you going to leave it in place?
Mm,
That doesn't seem like a wise idea.
no.
No.
God, can you go and take it down?
It's so pretty, we don't want to lose it.
Yeah. We can use
You
it
did
somewhere
such a great
else.
job.
And he climbs all the way down, walks across, climbs all the way back up, detaches the rope bridge, climbs all the way down, and climbs all the way back up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cud.
Thank you kindly.
I'm getting
Much
such a
appreciated.
workout.
Look at those muscles.
Hey, you now lose another 10 minutes while he flexes.
I join him.
He deserved it.
That's another 10
20
minutes.
minutes.
And you need to do any ritual spells? Yeah, okay.
I'm just tapping my foot, not saying anything. Okay, let's go.
Okay. All right.
Down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole. So, this area opens up into what appears to be a larger cavern. It seems to be a singular large cavern, as in there's not an obvious exit, although you could always search. The other branches heading further south split the tunnel, and you can see that one of them seems to lead out into a chasm that's got a naturally forming bridge over it, and another one that seems to turn away and heads down this corridor.
Sponge? Any ideas?
I don't know. These areas don't look well traveled, as I'm assuming, as the ravine does, or traveled at
Yeah.
all.
No, it's definitely not what Maliborn would call a highway. It looks much more in line with all the previous Underdark exploration activities.
So
Sponge?
do we go?
Yeah. Does Sponge know?
Which way to go?
Sponge sniffs, and he thinks that actually this might all be sort of coming back to the same area. He says it smells the same either way.
Hmm. I say we go with the bridge.
I'd have to agree.
Sure.
Hopefully it's sturdy enough.
Yeah. Well, it's a natural bridge, so it's all rock, right?
Yeah,
Or-
as you get closer, it does look like it's a natural forming bridge made of the same material as what you're walking on and walking through. And you see that actually it comes across a large chasm similar to the one you were just in, where you had to climb your way down. And it ends on the opposite side there.
Okay.
I guess we continue across.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I guess since nobody's doing any real perception checks, you might as well just
Damn it.
roll one now. No advantage to anybody because you weren't really trying.
Or just trusting Sponge. Can he do a perception check?
Sure.
20.
He has no bonuses to perception.
Okay, I'm giving
Sponge
him
rolls a 3.
He rolls a 3.
Aw.
Oh man.
16.
Sponge.
I'm a mushroom. What do you want from me?
I'm
Better
also a
perception.
mushroom.
Me too.
Apparently, Delin, though she ingested mushrooms, is not so much a mushroom.
He
True.
knows.
Okay. Yeah, those of you who rolled above 15 hear loud rumblings as you are halfway across the bridge. I'm going to put you guys halfway across the bridge.
Do we know which direction it was coming from?
It seems to be coming from this side, and it is getting louder and louder. It sounds like something is getting closer, and it also sounds like it's just sort of consistent, like
So, like a stampede? Maybe. Shall we continue? Or wait?
Should we run?
I'm thinking run.
Let's run.
Yeah. Run.
Okay.
Fly
How far are you guys running?
all the way across?
Here.
Yeah, around here.
Like
Uh-huh.
with a little bit
Okay.
of cover.
All right. As you guys run through this area, you realize now that actually this area seems to be a little bit less stable than where you came out, for whatever reason. And as you run across the bridge and get to the other side, whatever it is that's coming down that large highway area, because this does look more like a highway again, seems to be shaking everything. There's loose earth coming down upon you. Let's have a D20 dexterity save.
All right.
Do I get advantage on that being that I have danger sense? I have advantage on
Yes.
dex saves? Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
Yep.
use my inspiration.
Oh, right. Nice.
Nice.
That's a good use of inspiration.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mhm.
Mine not so much.
Oh.
Oh.
Same.
You just doubled up.
Yeah. Can I add them?
New rules.
Yes. So Byleth, through her portent, inspiration manages to dodge out of the way of all the stalactites that are falling around you. The rest of you those who rolled a 12 will take 3 stalactites to the head and body. You can roll 3d4, each of you. And that'll be how much damage you take. 6 points for Moxie. And Cracker
Points
takes
for
8.
me.
8 points for you.
I get buried.
Byleth and Delin will get hit with 5. So 5d4.
Byleth save.
Me?
Oh, sorry. Not Byleth. That was a perception roll. Yes, there's 4 of you. Okay, right. So that'll be Delin.
5.
5d4 for Delin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god. And I
Oh.
crit 2 of them.
Aw.
14.
Ow.
Ah. Not
I'm not
recommended.
And then you hear a loud sound, like crashing, like part of the roof maybe caved in. And you're just surrounded by dust that seems to be coming out of this tunnel here.
Oh.
It's just filling the air around you. You even see a little bit of dust coming around from behind you as well.
It's an ivy.
And then it's quiet as the dust slowly settles. Yes. There's a lot of choking hazard here.
Okay. We can either go back or we can try and sneak up and see what's around the corner. See if we can see anything.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Yep, that hurt a
Who
little.
wants to sneak?
I'm not very good at sneaking.
I can be sneaky when it behaves.
When it behaves, yeah. Go for
When
it.
it behaves. We're gonna hand over our pups over to Maliborn and kind of give them a look like, don't let them go. And she's gonna try and be sneaky and stealth her way
And they
around the
all
corner.
And
attack
wait.
Maliborn.
Hand them to me. Hand them to me.
Wait.
Fine, I'll give them to Mommy Cracker.
I growl a little,
Aw.
keep
I'm
them
gonna
on.
cast
And they
guidance
are-
before she goes.
Now they're a little bit more subdued. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll your stealth check.
With a D4.
What?
You don't need the D4.
Add a D4. I don't need the D4. We'll add it
Yeah.
anyway.
I
Just in
finally
case.
remember.
Okay, so you get around the corner, and yeah, and you can see into this area. It's clearly, let me read a little bit more. There's clearly been a major cavern collapse. In the midst of it, you see something that looks completely out of place. It appears to be a large silver round object. It could be a ball or a sphere, could be metal. You're not entirely sure what it is.
I feel like I'm in Indiana Jones.
Huh.
Huh. Is it like just sitting there or is it still moving?
It's partly buried underneath all of this.
Huh. Does it look like it fell from the ceiling or
It looks like it's been buried by the collapsing ceiling.
okay. So the
I
ceiling
mean, you don't know
collapsed
for
on
sure if
top
it
of
didn't. It might have fallen first, but it's definitely
Mhm.
underneath some of the rubble.
I feel like going to inspect it. Is the rubble
Okay.
climb overable or is it something that you'd have to pick through?
It's a little bit of both. It's definitely difficult terrain, but it's just natural collapse from the cave. It's not impossible, let's just say.
Okay.
Okay. So as you are making your way across it, as you get closer and closer, you hear something from that round, shiny sphere. Hello? Is someone out there?
Hello? She says
Uh,
tentatively.
I seem to be stuck. Can you get me out?
Well, that depends. Are you going to attack me if I do?
No. If I look, if you can get me, I think I might be stuck. I would really appreciate some help. I promise, on my word of honor, I will not hurt you.
Okay. So she's tentatively gonna because she's not the brightest bulb in the box and nobody's here to stop her. She's gonna come over here and kind of try and figure out what's going on.
It's very clearly a case of just being wedged in and buried. It doesn't look like it would be impossible to get it out, but because it's round and it's surrounded by debris pretty much all around it, you'd have to take some time to clear out a path for this thing to move. You don't see anything that looks obviously like an aperture or an opening on this particular side of it, but it's possible that the aperture or opening is underneath.
Well, maybe we'll sit here and start unburying it.
Since she's taking
I'm very
so long,
curious.
I'm going to start going after her, knowing what she
Yep.
is capable of
Me
when
too.
she's alone.
Yeah. Been
She's
down this road
curious.
before.
I'm curious. Leave me
shoulder.
alone.
Hello. What you doing?
Trying to trying to unbury whoever this is inside here and get them out.
Okay. Yeah, you start shifting. Sorry, go ahead.
Is there someone inside it?
The voice seems to be coming from inside this round sphere.
But I haven't
guess
heard
that's-
that yet because it hasn't talked.
Or if you want to talk, you can engage it. I mean, if you guys want, you can all hear what Moxie's saying if she's talking still, or if she tells you what she's doing. Otherwise, you just come across Moxie frantically digging at the rock in front of this weird sphere,
Yeah.
like she's on
Right.
drugs or something.
That seems normal.
Yeah.
That's normal for Moxie. She likes to push buttons, unbury shiny silver boulders. I mean, come on now. Take in like feral puppies.
So, Moxie, is there someone in there?
That's what it sounds like. I just don't see any way to get them out other than unburying or moving this.
Okay. Hello? Are you in there?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I'm in here.
Who
I'm
are
trapped.
you?
I am just your average dwarven adventurer, paladin. I'm just trying to make my way home.
Home where? Where's home?
Gauntlgrim.
What are the things that you are inside right now? What is this? I never seen anything like it.
Oh, this is an amazing contraption. One of our engineers came up with it, and I'm testing it out for them. It's supposed to be an indestructible traveling vehicle, but apparently it's so heavy that when I bounce off of the cavern walls, it causes cave-ins.
Ah,
I'm perfectly safe, but I can't seem to get out, and I need a bit of a push.
okay.
Moxie's trying to like now push against it with all her weakness.
Yeah, it's like super heavy.
Yeah, well, and Moxie's like the weakest of the bunch with only one good hand, so
Moxie, could
I'm
you
looking at Cracker.
try and speak to him in Dwarvish? Just to make sure.
of course. So you're a paladin then? She has switched to Dwarvish.
Oh, you speak Dwarven? Yes,
Yes.
I'm a paladin.
And what is this thing made of, out of curiosity?
It's mithril. Shh, keep it to yourself.
Aye, Captain. Now, how do you get out of it if you're stuck?
I'm actually upside down. There's a latch and then a hatch, and I'm facing it, but I think I need to turn about 180 degrees or so.
Moxie kind of looks around the shiny ball it could. Can we turn this over? Like roll it over, please?
Oh, I suppose. I mean, I could engineer a solution with a couple of ropes and a few hours and some grappling hooks and maybe a...
I can help
Oh,
you.
you want me just to use my strength?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can help
Fine.
you.
You know, I'm not just a piece of meat, I have a brain.
Yes, I know this, sir. That rope bridge you built was absolutely a marvelous piece of ingenuity. It's just that the easiest thing to do here right now would be just to roll it over,
Ugh.
please. She smiles sweetly like
No
a
one-
little kid.
Oh, stop that. It makes me nauseous. And he starts rolling it.
Thank you.
Ivy's helping too.
I was helping too. Okay.
You see this
She's trying her best.
trying to make little gusts of wind so it'll roll easier.
Yeah. Cool and cut.
Pooches are digging. Just a random hole.
Cud manages to start pushing it, and between that and the clearing out that the rest of you guys have already done, you manage to turn it over slowly. And as you do, you start to see what appears to be a round hatch. It's not very easily spotted, and it doesn't have a lot on it, just a handle. But once it rolls over, you hear something happening inside, sort of a clink, 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 and the hatch starts to open slowly. Yeah, like exactly like air.
That's great.
I imagine smoke billowing out of it.
And a helmeted head pops out. Oh, thank you very much. That was a bit uncomfortable. You
I can
saved my
imagine.
life.
You're welcome, kind sir.
I
Your
am
name?
ever grateful. You can call me Rick.
Glad to be of assistance, Rick.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. If I can ever do the favor, I have to tell you, since you've saved my life, you're welcome in Gauntlgrim any time. I'll give you a tour and introduce you to some people. I have friends at court, you know. Also, I promise if you are ever in need, if I can be of assistance, I will never let you down. I'll never give you up. I'll never run around or desert you.
Are you sure you're not a bard, sir?
What? I don't think so. Although I have been told I have a nice singing voice. And he pulls open the visor, and then he takes his helmet off completely.
Here we go.
Anyone else going to be singing that song for the rest of the day?
Yep.
And I was supposed to have copied this and had it ready to go. So here we go. If it works. Oh, that's not the right one. Oh no, it's not the. Oh, for Christ's sakes. I screwed it up.
It's not in the channel.
Never gonna give you up.
Yes,
Never
thank
gonna
you.
let you down. Never gonna
Never gonna
turn
run.
around and desert you.
Just gonna have to form a core real quick.
Oh man, I blew it. I'm so
That's
sorry.
okay. Laura and I
Wait.
sang it for you.
Mm.
Yes. Why isn't it? Ooh, I wonder if there's something wrong with the bot. Well,
Somebody
it looks like the
threw-
bot's not working.
Somebody
So-
threw too many bolts in it.
Yeah, maybe they disabled it because I'm not even getting the notice. Normally it would just say it's not working, but it would, if it's not working at all, I wonder if that's because it's something went wrong. Yes, so we can all do the song together without it.
And we all will forever be singing Rick Astley for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep, your DM rickrolled you.
And in fine style with a mithril sphere.
Exactly.
So, Rick the Paladin from Gauntlgrim has invited you to visit his lovely dwarven city. From here, Cud also thinks he recognizes where you are, and he can probably lead you to Gravenhollow. But of course, at this stage, you're very close to Neverlight Grove and the home of Sponge, and possibly some answers with respect to the mold and Zuckmoy and her consort Dweeblex, and what exactly is going on with all this and how Lolth is tied in. where do you guys want to go? Do you want to continue to Neverlight Grove?
I feel like we owe it to Sponge to get him home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, at least I promised Portobella to go to her hometown and talk to her people. She was a
Mhm.
mushroom lady that we met.
Yes.
So that's been on the list for about 1.5 years or something.
We've just been traveling and traveling.
Yeah.
Made this promise to random mushroom lady, picked a few strays along the way.
Well, she did sacrifice herself for us so that we could go. Sukmoy, the demon lady that's responsible for all the mold, she kind of ate her. So.
That's right. Well done, Henrietta.
Well, she told us to go to her hometown and talk to the people in charge there to see about what's happening down there with the mold and that kind of stuff.
Well, I guess no more distractions from the crazy little half-elven one
Well,
with her little hyena pups.
I don't think we can blame you for all the distractions when it comes to that, but kind of. Well, we made
Oh,
a civil
shiny!
war in the meantime. Civil war, and we helped the dude became a lich again. And what else did we do? We had a dinosaur race. So
Mm.
a lot has
Been busy.
happened. Yeah, but we're busy.
Sounds like it. I got distracted by the shiny.
Shine is good.
But now what do you do with a giant metal ball? She conveniently fails to tell them that it's made out of mithril.
Well, Rick is presumably going to roll it back to Gauntlet.
Well, then I guess he can have fun with that. Just
Were
don't get
you
stuck
planning
again,
on-
sir.
Were you planning on trying to keep it?
No,
That's
I can't even roll it, let alone keep it. Besides,
More
I've got like 6
disadvantage.
pounds of pup here to deal with.
yeah, more disadvantage. Double, triple disadvantage.
Wait, you wanted to roll? I think you need to wait till next week to roll for this week, and maybe it'll count. That's a badger disadvantages now. No.
Cud looks in his pockets and says, I don't think I can fit that in here.
Oh,
We'll let the dwarf keep it.
I at least think that we should get Sponge home first, and then maybe go to Graven Hollow, and maybe then go to the Dwarven City.
Well, there are 2 dwarven cities we
That's
can
good.
visit. But
Well, the last one.
we'll start with mushy people.
Yes.
Neverlight Grove.
What's the other
Yep.
one called?
Gracklestug?
Yes.
Yeah,
thank you.
Gracklestug.
And we do have a map to the outside, to the Mithril Hall.
Mithril Hall.
Yeah.
So we got lots of dwarven places to go. But
So
first,
Rick says, Gracklestug. Gracklestug is, it's not a dwarven city. It's a Duragar city.
Oh,
The Grey Dwarves, they're heavy slaver.
okay. Let's not go there.
Ooh. Nope.
Is that what? Wait, I take out the map. Is that the Beard Evils? And I show him the map.
He says, he looks at you, and then he subconsciously strokes his rather bare chin. Is this some sort of inadvertent, obscene gesture? I can't help the way I look. I know I look very young for a dwarf, but this is just how I am. I tell you, I'm a full adult.
I was thinking about the map if you see on the map here, there's a city down here where it says Beard Evils, south of the
Oh,
Mushy Peoples.
oh,
Is that
yes. That's probably Gracklestug.
that's Gracklestug? Okay, let's not go there.
Works for
It's
us.
interesting. It's an interesting place. You just have to make sure you don't go as a slave.
Been there, done that. I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
No thanks.
So let's go to.
There's a
Sorry.
there's a lot of slavery in the Underdark, you know. The Drow, and he gently indicates Maliborn, who seems to be deliberately ignoring the conversation. They are kind of famous for it too, as well as the Mind Flayers.
Are you familiar with the Underdark? Have you been traveling a lot down here?
Not this layer of it. Gauntlgrim and the other dwarven cities tend to be a bit further up. We do trade down here on occasion. There seems to be a shortage of mithril. That's why I'm looking for it. I know the irony. Riding in a giant ball of mithril, looking for more mithril, seems a bit greedy, but actually, this is most of the mithril we have left. That's why it's so important I get it back in one piece.
Hmm. If you look at this map again, do you know what mini evils? Do you know what that is? Up in
Hmm.
the middle here.
I don't know. I mean, there are lots of things that could be mini. And I'm just checking, you're not making a height joke, are you?
No. It's not. It's the map. We got it from some Kuatoa, and they're not
I mean,
really good on names, it seems.
I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but you know, it's not like somebody couldn't have pre-planned a whole meme.
True. Well, that's not what I'm doing.
Oh, well, Minnie, if these are the bearded evils and this is Minnie, logic would suggest that they imply that whatever that is smaller than the bearded evils.
True.
Hmm. I don't know for sure. I mean, there are different types of gnomes down here. There are other smaller evil races as well. I don't know all of them. I'm not a true expert on the Underdark. I'm primarily here just to make sure it gets back in one piece. Kind of a test pilot. I was selected for my bravery and my ability to withstand direct attacks. I can do a little healing. My dedication to my faith and my people. The fact that I'll never let you down. I'll never run around. And he continues on and on and on.
So who's
Okay,
your
understand.
deity?
Why, Moradin, of course.
Oh, interesting. But just a question. You say that you are almost out of mithril, and you take a ball made of mithril, the last you have, and take it to the Underdark? Is that wise?
Look, I can't tell you why they decided to do what they did. I think it's really just a question of trying to find a way to protect our expeditions because we've been losing miners left and right.
Mm.
This sphere has magics on it. It is easily located, although I would be trapped and potentially at risk if somebody were to try to move it without the expressed permission of myself or any other dwarves who had been empowered to operate it. It would set off alarms back home, and eventually a war party would come for it.
Okay.
We would prefer not to take that risk. And the mithril makes whatever is being carried both protected and the pilot survivable.
Cool.
If it weren't for your big friend there, I could take the rest of you to Gauntlgrim. Here, have a look inside. And he shows you inside, and you can see that there's a central seat and then a bunch of other seats around the outside of it, strapped in with straps and everything. You suspect that if you were to sit in the seat while it was rolling, you would all get incredibly sick.
Huh.
Um, not, yeah. Appreciate the offer, though, sir.
Well, it's been fun. I probably should get going, and if you're not going to join me, then perhaps you should get going too. This is not the safest place. And although I never want to desert you, I never want to make you cry, I never want to say goodbye or tell lies and hurt you, I'm afraid I'm going to have to part ways here.
We'll not say goodbye. We'll
Aw.
see you later. Okay. Then you
It was
won't
nice
We will
meeting
never
you.
break
let
your
you
oath.
down. We will run around though, but
Yeah.
it's
We
inevitable.
we might desert you, but not permanently.
For the time being.
For the time being.
And he does a little side to side shimmy and dance, and then he pops his helmet back on, climbs back in, sticks a thumb out before he closes the hatch, and rumbles off into the distance, leaving behind a cloud of dust.
Okay. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we know where all the mithril went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way. She points in the direction as the ball went.
All right. Well, I think that covers us for this week. Thank you very much, all of you. And I will see you all in 2
Thank you.
weeks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you can
Thanks.
all brag to your friends on your other D&D campaigns that you got rickrolled.
That's
Yep.
that's a good one.
Yay.
That was a good one.
By a dwarf.
Yep, by a dwarf nonetheless. That was rolling away.
That's rolling away.
Oh.
You literally got rickrolled. All right. Okay, folks,
Okay.
I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a lovely week and weekend and
You
another
too.
following week.
You too.
Have a
Okay.
good
You too,
vacation.
sir.
Right.
Yeah. Have a good
Yeah,
Thanks.
good vacation.
Have a good one, Al.
Bye.
Thanks.
Mm,
Bye.
take care.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.